Hello everyone. Today I will tell you a story. The story is titled, A Day Without a Plan, but with Buy and Quote. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you appreciate me. You can skip this if you don't and oppose. Like this video. Thank you very much. The story begins as follows. That morning began the way many ordinary mornings do. Quiet, a little slow, and completely unplanned. I woke up without an alarm, the soft gray light slipping through the curtains like it was unsure whether it should wake me yet. My phone lay untouched on the desk, no notifications demanding attention, no meetings lined up to give the day a shape. It was one of those rare days when time felt wide and forgiving. I was already awake. He sat beside the bed, his tail resting neatly on the floor, eyes round and shining as if he had been waiting for this exact moment his whole life. When I finally opened my eyes, he leaned forward just a little, nose twitching, checking whether I was truly awake or just pretending. The moment our eyes met, his tail began its gentle rhythm. Thump, 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 against the wooden floor. Good morning, Bai, I whispered. That was all it took. Bai exploded into joy, spinning in a small circle, then hopping onto the bed with the confidence of someone who believed this was absolutely allowed. His paws were warm, his fur slightly messy from sleep, and his breath smelled faintly like last night's dinner. He pressed his forehead against my chest and sighed deeply, a sound full of comfort and belonging. I had no plan for the day, but Bai clearly did. He jumped off the bed and trotted toward the door, stopping halfway to look back at me. His ears perked up, his head tilted slightly to the side, as if to say, well, are you coming or not? I laughed, stretched, and followed him. In the kitchen, Bai sat politely while I prepared breakfast. No barking, no impatience, just quiet expectation. When I dropped a piece of toast by accident, he didn't grab it. He simply looked at me, waiting for permission. That small moment reminded me how trust works both ways. I trusted him to behave, and he trusted me to guide him. After breakfast, instead of rushing out the door or opening my laptop, I sat on the floor with Bai. We didn't do anything special. I scratched behind his ears. He leaned into my hand. The world outside was waking up, motorbikes passing, distant voices, birds arguing over something unimportant, but inside, time slowed down. For the first time in a long while, I realized something important. Even without a plan, the day already felt full. And it was because Bai was there, fully present, asking for nothing more than my attention. The sun climbed higher, warming the living room, and Bai claimed his favorite spot near the window. He lay on his side, paws stretched out, belly exposed to the light like he was charging himself with sunshine. Every now and then, a noise from outside would make his ears twitch, a passing cat, a falling leaf, a voice calling from far away, but he didn't move. He was relaxed, safe, and completely at home. I sat nearby with a book, though I wasn't really reading. My eyes followed by more than the pages. There was something deeply calming about watching him exist so effortlessly. He wasn't thinking about what he should be doing next. He wasn't worried about wasted time. He simply was. At some point, Bai stood up and walked over to me, placing his head gently on my knee. Not pushing, not demanding, just a quiet reminder that he was there. I closed the book and smiled. Do you want to go outside? I asked. That was a mistake. Bai's tail started wagging so hard his whole body followed. He ran to the door, then back to me, then to the door again, as if afraid I might change my mind. We grabbed the leash and stepped outside, the afternoon air warm and full of life. We didn't have a destination. We just walked. Bai sniffed everything with great seriousness. Trees, walls, corners, invisible messages left by other dogs. Each sniff seemed to carry meaning, as if the ground itself was telling stories only he could read. I followed his pace, sometimes stopping, sometimes moving, letting him lead. People smiled when they saw him. Some slowed down. Some asked his name. Bai accepted the attention with calm pride, tail wagging gently, eyes kind. In those moments, I saw how animals connect people without effort. A simple dog walk turned strangers into friendly faces. We sat on a bench for a while. Bai lay at my feet, his body touching my shoe, a quiet anchor. I watched the clouds drift by and felt something inside me loosen. All the pressure to do something meaningful faded. This was meaningful. When we returned home, Bai drank water, then flopped onto the floor with a dramatic sigh, as if the walk had been a great adventure. I laughed and joined him on the floor, lying on my back beside him. The ceiling fan hummed softly above us. There was no plan for the afternoon, but somehow, the afternoon knew exactly what to do. As evening settled in, the sky turned soft shades of orange and blue, and Bai curled up beside me on the couch. His head rested on my leg, his breathing slow and steady. In that quiet moment, I realized how much this unplanned day had given me. Bai didn't fill the day with activities or achievements. He filled it with presence, patience, and connection. In our modern lives, we often believe value comes from productivity, schedules, and constant movement. But Bai showed me another kind of value, the kind that comes from simply being there for one another. Animals live in the present. They don't judge us for being tired, unmotivated, or uncertain. They accept us as we are, and in doing so, they teach us to accept ourselves. From Bai, we can learn to slow down and listen to our surroundings, to our emotions, and to the living beings who share our lives. A day without a plan is not a wasted day if it strengthens our bonds and restores our hearts. Caring for animals reminds us of responsibility, empathy, and kindness. In return, they offer loyalty, comfort, and unconditional love. In today's busy world, let us remember to make space for these quiet connections. Take time to walk without a destination, to sit without distractions, and to love without conditions. Like Bai, sometimes the best plan is simply to be together.